That Jimmy Carter funeral could be a whole series on Netflix. It was that entertaining. And I don't mean the actual service itself. I mean, that part, it was nice. It was polite. I mean, like, the actual human interaction of these politicians was absolute gold. And the moment that takes the cake is when Donald Trump is seen yucking it up with Obama, making Obama laugh. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think if I was sitting with Hitler, I would be laughing at anything he was saying. That's just me. Oh, you mean they were just making that up the whole time? You mean they didn't actually believe that Donald Trump was Hitler? Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right.
Talk about a bombshell.
Can't believe it. 7:06, good morning on a Friday. It's great to have you here on KCMO Talk Radio. The roads are a little dicey this morning. Make sure that you are just taking your time. That's all you got to do. Just be safe and take your time this morning. I had to help a guy dig out on the ramp on the K10 today. It was my Good Samaritan duty of the day. He didn't know what he was doing. I really felt bad for the guy. He had a garden shovel instead of a snow shovel. So I lent him a hand. Happy to do it. But, just take your time and you'll be all right. All right? But watching that funeral service yesterday, there were so many things that you could point to that stood out. There was Obama and Trump giggling together. There was George W. Bush whacking Obama in the stomach. I gave him the old, bro tap on the stomach. It was kind of like, Dayton gave me one of those a couple of weeks ago when he was in the studio. That's always fun. So I'm looking at these moments. You've got Karen Pence totally giving the cold shoulder to Donald and Melania Trump. Trump walks in to the funeral service. Mike Pence stands up and shakes his hand. And Karen Pence is just sitting there looking down at her program. Wants nothing to do with Donald and nothing to do with Melania. And she made that very evident if you were watching that yesterday. You had Kamala Harris and Jill Biden sitting next to each other and not even exchanging pleasantries. You want to talk about ice cold. Kamala Harris is sitting there with Dougie Doug, and Biden and Jill walk in, and Jill sits next to Kamala. Didn't even look at each other. Nothing. That relationship is toast.
Oh, no, they talked out in the hall before.
I'm telling you, man, Jill Biden was sending a message. She wants nothing to do with that lady. Hillary Clinton just looked miserable. Bill Clinton's checking out Kamala. I'm not kidding. There's a video of Bill, kind of following Kamala as she's about to sit down.
He's reading the program. He's looking over the top of those half-rim glasses.
Here's the thing about Bill. He doesn't even have shame. He just goes for it, man. Do you remember when Trump got inaugurated? He was checking out Ivanka. You remember that? Mm-hmm. There's a viral video of Bill checking out Ivanka and Hillary catching him doing it. And she gives him a dirty look.
How you doing?
His eyes were wandering right after Kamala's yesterday. You got Melania looking like she's wondering how on earth she got there and what she's doing there. And then there's Biden who's sleeping the whole time. He'll say he was praying and closing his eyes and listening and taking in the moment. I'm not convinced that's what was going on. So Trump does a press conference at Mar-a-Lago last night because all the Republican governors were down there for a Republican Governors Association meeting. And Trump gets asked by Peter Doocy about the Obama moment where the two of them are seen kind of yucking it up at Jimmy Carter's funeral service. And here's what Trump said.
Off the top, you mentioned the Carter funeral today. What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
It did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well, which is good.
Okay, that was Trump yesterday. Now, I've seen a lot of people, not a lot, but I've seen some people who are diehard Trumpers on social media being like, I don't like this. I don't like it. How could he possibly be laughing with that man? This is what Trump does. Trump's all about, first off, he's a business guy first and foremost.
It's who he is. Yes, sir.
He's not an ideologue.
No.
Like, don't get me wrong. He's got his beliefs on how the country needs to be run, and he will absolutely make sure the country runs the way he wants it to run. But at the end, it's the same reason people freaked out. How is he talking to Vladimir Putin? I think Trump gets off on talking to people and trying to convince people who don't like him to like him. I think that's a big part of who he is.
It doesn't
John.
matter if it's Obama or the kid with the apron at McDonald's.
Yeah.
He can relate to you one-on-one.
Yes. And it's
right, him and Bill Clinton have got game. They're going out later, and they're the ones getting the free appetizers and pulling chicks over the table. Obama and George got no game.
Yes.
Right?
I totally agree with that assessment. That's just who he is. I think that Trump inherently wants to be liked. I do, and I think that's true for most people, but especially most politicians. Even when they have that tough exterior, they want to be liked. And I think Trump does want to be liked to a large extent, but also he's just funny. He's the kind of guy who's going to walk into a room from the people I know who have been in these situations, and he'll make you laugh, whether you agree with him or not. And I think that's all it was yesterday. That's it. It's really that simple. It doesn't bother me one bit. I don't think it's like Obama convinced him to view the world and the country differently.
Trump's the kind of guy, you lied me. You just don't know it yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. And that's who he is. I totally agree with that, John. So it didn't bother me yesterday. I thought it was a good moment. And in fact, I thought it was a better moment for Trump than it was Obama. Because Obama was the one down the stretch that while he wasn't using the words and the phrases like Hitler, he was part of that whole song and dance and those lies of like, oh man, dictator day one. Nonsense. Never believed it. But this one went viral yesterday from somebody I followed on social media who's a diehard Trumper. And he writes, I have mixed emotions looking at this. If someone tried to perform a coup on me, I'm not sure I could sit there and crack jokes with them. It's like, no, here's the thing, too. Trump's got the last laugh. Can we not forget that? He's got the last laugh. He's going back to the White House, baby. He's now beaten Obama twice. When Obama was the one back in 2015 making jokes on, what was that? Was it SNL? It was also the White House Correspondents' Dinner. When Obama was like, Donald Trump, you will never be president of the United States. Who got the last laugh there? Trump has no reason to be bitter. I mean, he certainly could be, and you wouldn't blame him for being bitter based on all the nonsense he's gone through and the political warfare he's had to deal with the last few years. But I see a guy who isn't, and I'm here for it, man. I really am.
Look, Trump's done a lot. How many times has the guy been broke, right?
Yeah.
He's come back from a lot of stuff. This is child's play dealing with the media and these kind of people, really. I mean, he's dealt with tougher customers.
Yeah, I would
right?
agree. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So he's all prepared. He's well honed.
I think he knew exactly what he was walking into yesterday, and he was totally fine with it.
Yep.
And it's not going to change one bit in terms of how he plans to run the business of the United States coming up on January 20th. And I will note this, too, a little teaser for you ahead of Monday. We are going to announce an inauguration watch party with KCMO Talk Radio and another organization. We will announce that Monday morning here on 95.7 FM. So if you're looking for something to do, if you're off on MLK, you want to join us, we will roll that out Monday morning with a special announcement.